Hello and welcome to Warframe Unabridged. I'm your host Fen, and today we're going to be discussing a little bit about Fashion Frame, but with a frame that I feel has provided a particular level of difficulty for many because of the strange characteristics of the model. We are of course talking about Atlas, the subject of our next Unabridged journey. At his base, Atlas is a pretty damn ugly frame. Sorry, not sorry. And honestly, somebody really needed to say it. Between having no neck, having extremely bulbous shoulders, lanky arms and legs, with similar issues to that of Mirage's thighs, it's not always easy to find an armor set that's going to work on him. I mean, let's face it, without the upcoming Tennogen, his frame is very hard to make look good. It's not only the physique though, it's also the coloring. He has no intermingling colors really, with the exception of his tabard. His shoulders and upper arms, all one color. Thighs, all one color. Chest, all one color. Knees to feet, all one color. And with that, it makes it very difficult to produce a result that doesn't look like a 1980s aerobic instructor that's been inspired by the artist formerly known as Prince. So what I had in mind was walk through what I do whenever I'm trying to find a good looking result, so that when I go into a mission, I'm not only confident in my math and my skill, but also my appearance. Now the method that I use is finding items that rhyme with each other, and I know that may seem a little weird, just hear me out. Now, since there's always going to be fewer helms than accessories, you want to start out with a helm whenever you're trying to do some good fashion frame. Now, I'm not saying you can't start with armor. Obviously you can, but if you want to go for something that really matches, since helmets are in fewer supply on every frame than there are armor sets, the best way to go is finding an armor set that complements your helmet. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be going through the various slots that I have on my Atlas and show you what I've kind of come up with. Now, I've already finished my slots A and B, and we'll go over them after this, but first I'm going to show you my walkthrough on what I did with my slot C. Now, I've already used every helmet except for Tartarus, so for this one, I'm going to start with that one. And when I'm taking a look at that helmet, what it inspires me of, what it reminds me of, especially with that little round piece on the top, it makes me think of a hanging plant pot. And I realize that may not sound super badass or anything, but let's just see where it goes, and we'll just stick with the theme and see if we can make something good out of it. Now we're sticking with mostly greens on this one. We're going with some from the saturated palette and some from the Grenier palette. And what I'm noticing is it just immediately puts in my head the Jolly Green Giant. So I'm going to go with some infested items to give an impression of plants and vines and stuff like that. You know, like something you might see in Jack and the Beanstalk. Another giant reference. Now the Apoxis Cyandana seems to pull off fairly well. And so the closest matching armor set that I can think of is the Embolist armor set. Now from there, we have a pretty solid looking Jolly Green Giant. So what we're going to do is we're going to place some regalia now, and as a means of filling in all of the extra space on the chest, and man, there's a lot of it here, we're going to try and find something that mingles well with the design. Now I'd love to put something from New Loka because that would just fit very well, but right now I'm not aligned with them. I think what I'm going to do here is go with the Rift Sigil. What's kind of cool about it is that it really highlights a lot of the textures on the body part that it covers. As you can see, there's a lot more muscly looking texture on his chest and even on his back. Now we're going to put some more energy on him with the Void Trader emblems, and then we're going to find some weapons that might match just to complete the motif. Now what I decided on was the Pox, the Hema, and the Hirudo, giving them a matching color scheme as well. Once completed, if you're doing a full motif that includes a frame and the weapons, I personally like to leave the weapons visible so that they can contribute to the fashion frame. The Hema appears to be part of the Apoxis Cyandana or to expand it, giving the impression of more vegetation coming out of the back, and the Pox contributes to the bland leg pieces in the same way. The Hirudo, with a gas elemental effect, only serves to add extensions to the hands and feet, ending in glowing plants and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Now for my slot A, we're going to use the Shikoro helmet, which makes me kind of think of an idol or something like Shadow of Colossus, I don't know. I went with darker color schemes using various forms of black and gray, and as a means of matching his helmet and his built-in tabard, I used a complete set of Katir cosmetics. The sharp edges on the armor set seem to rhyme with the sharp edges of the helmet, and it takes away from the bulbous nature of the shoulders, but it still provides more of an angular look to him at the same time. From there, To fill in his chest a bit more, I used the concave sigil, which kind of complements and outlines the chest piece that I have equipped. Now that's what I mean by making it rhyme. You want to find aspects in the helmet of whatever frame you're trying to use, and then find an armor set that will complement it. Unless you're going for something that's a little more asymmetrical or something to that effect, in which case there's plenty of ways to go about that as well, which we might cover in a later video. Now for my B slot, I used his basic helmet, and something that I found that seemed to rhyme with the vertical angles and segments was the Quarro armor and the Citadella Syandana, which is actually very similar in shape on the top piece as the top of his head. And the split cape also rhymes very well with his tabard. To fill in a little bit of space on the chest, I used the Prisma sigil and equipped the Oma to complete the look. Now I realize that a lot of this stuff is pretty hard to come by, and this isn't to show you what to equip to make him look good, but rather to teach you the method by which I try and make mine look good. I'm here to teach you a method today. I'm not here to tell you precisely how to decorate them or anything like that. You can decorate it however you want. You can make it look like an exploding Skittle for all I care. In fact, you may want to go with that 80s aerobics instructor who was inspired by the artist formerly known as Prince. That's entirely up to you. But that's pretty much it for today, folks, and I really hope that this has helped you out in the long run by giving you a method by which you can make even the ugliest of frames look at least some level of acceptable, to take on a personality in your eyes. Something that has your signature on it. You know what I'm saying? But that's it for today, folks. I'm gonna get out of your hair. If you like what you saw today, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more Warframe content. And if you can think of anybody that might benefit from this, go ahead and hit that share button. Let them know about me. I look forward to seeing you on our next Unabridged journey. But until then, this is Fenn, signing off.